Hello. Welcome to another episode of On the Pitch with TJ Picks. We're doing it live for everybody, guys. Welcome back. Been a great week, been a great month, guys. Been a great year. With all that being said, guys, I appreciate everybody's support, everybody who's tuned in right now, watching the show live. I appreciate you guys extra much right now. It's been a great week. We got NFL Super Bowl big game coming up this weekend. Lots of soccer action as we do every weekend, guys. Friday, Saturday, Sunday. It's the big money winners. Lots of action across all the leagues, European soccer leagues, Australia, you name it, Mexico. We got it all. Free play have been hitting, guys. So if you're not on my free play telegrams, on my free play telegram, you got to get in there. I send free plays daily. VIP, guys, moves to 15-2, last 17 VIP plays. We have a sample of over 200 plays. I'm hitting 78% the last 200 VIP plays, guys. Nobody in the business is doing what we're doing. This weekend, we're going to be continuing the heat. Today, guys, the VIP play was Barcelona game over 3. Final score was 5-0, guys. Tell them in the chat, guys, 5-0. We have a VIP chat where a guy asked me in the VIP chat earlier around 9 a.m., about 3 hours before the game, hey, do you think that game's going to go both to score? I said, nah, it's not going both to score. I said the final score is going to be 5-0. And guess what, guys? Barcelona won 5-0. Had at least one guy in the VIP chat who took that exact score, ran with it, and bet it, guys. That's a plus 2,200 exact score. This is not the first time that I've done that either, guys. Guys always ask me what the score is going to be for these games, and I've hit it a lot more than you would think. Exact scores on soccer games, guys. I got to brag about that a little bit because that's unheard of, guys. When I spit out a score for a game like that, 5-0, it's in the story. I posted it in the free telegram, so you can see the chat. You can see the timestamp of when I was asked. You can see the ticket, too, of the guy who placed it, confirming he bet the 5-0 score before the game even started, guys. So that's how we do it. VIP chat, it's where it's at. February for the month, we'll have some specials going on. So if you're not in the VIP, you want to get in, hit me up. We'll get you in for the rest of February. VIP action, guys. Let's get right into it. We got a lot of games, and we got the Super Bowl to talk about. So big game coming up there. Let's get right into it. Australian soccer tonight is where we're starting. Australian soccer Friday early morning, pretty much Thursday night, 12:35 a.m. Tijuana time, Pacific time. This is the first half hour of Friday after midnight. Adelaide United versus Melbourne City. Current standings for these two teams, Adelaide is in second place. Melbourne City, 7th place. The top 6 teams make it to the playoffs, guys. So Melbourne City's trying to get in there. We're only in game number 14, so there's still a few more games left. Adelaide coming off a 4-1 loss to Sydney. Adelaide prior to that had a 2-2 draw versus Auckland. Adelaide prior to that, 3-2. So we're seeing over 3.5 goals in the last 3 Adelaide United games. Now, on the other hand, Melbourne City lost to MacArthur, guys. 1-0 in their last matchup. lost 3-0 to Melbourne. To Auckland. 3-0 loss to Auckland. They've only seen one game over 2.5 goals in the last 3. Actually, I could go even further. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. In the last 5 games, Melbourne City has only seen one game hit 3 goals, guys. And usually the overs in the Australian Soccer League are at 3 or 3.5. So that's something we got to consider here. Adelaide FC is a minus 104 favorite. Melbourne City plus 261. Based on what we're seeing here, I'm not too confident in the over just merely because of the fact that it's probably going to be super high. Adelaide has seen, though, a both to score in the last 5 games. I think Adelaide has the edge here, but I think Melbourne City can get one. This is going to be a juicy parlay piece, but give me both to score. Adelaide United versus Melbourne City tonight for the first game of the Australian Soccer League. That takes us to Perth Glory, guys. Perth Glory FC taking on the Central Coast Mariners. This is about 6 hours away, guys. The other game is about 3 hours away. So Perth Glory is currently in the 12th spot, 12th place. Central Coast Mariners, 9th place. And you remember what I said? They want to be in the top 6 to move on to the playoffs. Central Coast Mariners, 9th place, 19 goals scored, 26 conceded in 16 games. Perth Glory, guys, has only scored 11 goals in 16 games, but has conceded 39. And they're the home team in this game. Perth Glory coming off a 0-2 loss to Melbourne Victory at home. Prior to that, they had a 2-2 draw versus Newcastle Jets. 3 games back, they had a 1-2 loss to the Wanderers. Central Coast Mariners, 2-2 draw versus the Newcastle Jets was their last game. Western United, Central Coast Mariners, prior to that, 2-2. But Coastal Mariners did have a 0-0 versus the Wellington Phoenix prior to that. This game is showing a plus 115 for the Central Coast Mariners, who do have the advantage here, guys. I actually do like them on the money line here. I do like the Central Coast Mariners money line in this game at plus 115, playing at Perth Glory. I just don't think Perth Glory has what it takes. Our next game in the Australian A-League takes us to the Newcastle Jets house plus 3-3 at home versus Melbourne Victory. Current standings, Melbourne Victory, 3rd place, 24 goals scored, 17 conceded in 15 matches. Newcastle Jets, 18 goals scored, 25 conceded in 14 games. Newcastle Jets coming off a 2-2 draw versus Coastal Mariners. Melbourne Victory coming off a 2-0 win over Perth Glory. Melbourne Victory has scored at least 2 goals in their last 5 games. They haven't been conceding too many goals, though, so they got a decent defense. Last time these two faced off against each other, they had a 1-1 draw. I'm going to have to go with the Melbourne Victory money line here. Melbourne Victory money line minus 125 over the Newcastle Jets. None of these goals are really shouting goals over right now. That may change if I look at some things, but staying away from the goal market in the Australian A-League, sometimes you got to do it. I'm not going to be too upset if there's tons of goals. For me, it's the right play right now. That's going to do it for Australian A Soccer League for Friday. That moves on to the Friday action, Euro Soccer League. We're going to start in France, guys. France, Ligue 1, France, Friday, 10 a.m. game, Pacific time, Tijuana time. Nantes at home versus Brest. Nantes is currently in the 14th place, 24 goals, 30 conceded. Brest, 31 goals scored, 36 conceded. Nantes coming off a 2-1 win over Reims. The last 5 games for Nantes have seen a both to score, guys. The last 3 games, only 1 game has seen an over 2.5. Brest coming off a 2-1 victory over Troyes in the Coupe de France Cup League. Brest did lose 2-5 to PSG, though. in the previous league game. So what we're looking at here is a boat to score, guys. I do like the over 2.5 here. Nantes versus Brest, boat to score, and I like the over 2.5. Next game, PSG versus Monaco, guys. We love PSG. They've been cashing for us. PSG first place, of course. They're always in first place when it comes to the Farmers League, the French League. After 20 games, they have 54 goals, 19 conceded, 50 points. First place. Second place team is Marseille, and they're at 40 points. So they got a good 10-point cushion in the first slot after 20 games. Monaco, though, is in third place. They have 37 points. They have scored 36 goals, conceded 24. Last game for PSG was in the Coupe de France, 2-0 win. Prior to that, we just mentioned it was versus Brest in the last French league game. PSG won 5-2. Monaco coming off a 4-2 win over Auxerre, guys. Prior to that, they did lose 3-0 to Inter Milan in the Champions League. But we have seen the last two games for Monaco hit 5 and 6 goals, guys. So you guys can tell where I'm going with this one, guys. Over goals in PSG versus Monaco. Monaco has some guys who can score some goals, some firepower up top. PSG is a minus 238 favorite. So even though it's first versus third, there's a big discrepancy there in who's the better team. But I do think Monaco could score 1. PSG could score 3 or 4 at any given time. So give me over goals, PSG versus Monaco with the edge to PSG money line, possible parlay play there. That takes us to Serie A, Italian Soccer League. Como at home versus Juventus, guys. Como is currently in 15th place. Juventus is in the 6th slot in the Serie A, Italian Soccer League. Juventus has a good defense. They've scored 39 goals, only conceded 20 goals in 23 matches. Como, on the other hand, has scored 27 goals in 23 matches, but conceded 38 goals. Previous matchup, Como did lose 2-0 to Bologna. Como did get a goal versus Atalanta, even though they lost 2-1. Como did beat Udinese 4-1. Juventus' last league game was a 4-1 win over Empoli. Juventus did beat, actually they lost to Benfica in the Champions League. Prior to that, Juventus did lose to Napoli. Juventus did beat AC Milan 3 games ago in league play. These guys haven't played since 2019. For the one reason or another, I see Juventus as a plus 105, guys. They technically, even though they are the away team, should be at a higher odds. Juventus should be at a minus 130, minus 145 here. But just for the fact that they are plus 105, I think Como can get a goal, even though the Juventus is a very good defensive team. Como is at home, plus 269. I do give the edge to Juventus to get the money line win here, but we're possibly going to see a boat to score. So when we see a possible boat to score and a team that should win, that takes us to our over 2.5, guys. Over 2.5 in Serie A, Como versus Juventus for Friday. We have one Spain game on Friday in La Liga. Rayo Vallecano versus Real Valladolid. Noon Pacific time. Current standings, Rayo Vallecano, 6th place, 26 goals scored, 24 conceded, 22 matches. Real Valladolid, very last place, guys, only 15 goals scored in 22 matches, have conceded 47. 47 goals conceded. They are the team that has given up the most goals in the Spanish league, guys. Rayo coming off a 1-0 win over Leganes. Prior to that, Rayo did beat Girona 2-1. And prior to that, Rayo tied Osasuna. So we're not seeing a ton of firepower there. Valladolid did lose 5-1 to Villarreal. And they only lost 3-0 to Real Madrid. So they didn't do too bad there. I got to give the edge here to Rayo Vallecano at minus 213. Rayo Vallecano money line here. We can maybe grab this one live at a better odds because they usually don't score quick or soon in the Spanish league, guys. They usually pass it around quite a bit. So you might be able to grab a good line here or use Rayo in a parlay piece. So on Friday, there is a FA Cup game for England, Manchester United versus Leicester. Guys, Manchester United, never know what you're going to get with them. Hot and cold, bipolar team, playing really shitty some days, most days, and then they surprise you and get a big win. So Man U did lose to Crystal Palace 2-0 the last league game. Prior to that, in the Europa League, they took down a Romanian team, FCSB 2-0. But prior to that, they did take down Fulham 1-0. So see, they lose one, they win one, they lose one, they win one. Never know what you're going to get with those guys. Leicester, on the other hand, guys, bottom of the barrel team in England Premier League, just lost 4-0 to another bad team, Everton. Leicester did beat Tottenham, though, 2-1. Tottenham's not that great this year. Last time these two teams faced off against each other, Man U won 3-0, guys. I hate to say it, but I think that Man U is going to win this game. You never know how convincingly they're going to win. It also is a cup game, so you got to be careful there. This might be a parlay piece. Man U, possible team total over 1.5, or use Man U, Manchester United in a parlay piece, possibly with PSG on Friday. We'll let you know if we like any parlays there for Friday night. But we're going to take Manchester United money line, possible Manchester United team total. Hopefully it's not one of their bad days tomorrow. That takes us to Mexican League on Friday. We got Necaxa at home taking on Santos Laguna. Necaxa, 11th place. Santos, very bad team. They were bad last season as well. Santos, in 5 games, have only scored 2 goals, but conceded 10. So they're giving up 2 goals a game. Necaxa in 5 games, 8 goals scored, 8 goals conceded. Necaxa coming off a 1-0 loss to Monterrey. Prior to that, they lost 3-1 to Cruz Azul. Santos coming off a 0-2 loss to Puebla. Prior to that, a 1-0 loss to Juarez. So they're not getting killed in their games, guys. But Santos, Necaxa, both bottom of the barrels, guys. I think we might possibly hear when we see these teams like this in the Liga MX, bad teams, bad defenses, usually both teams score. So I do see both teams scoring here, even though Santos are terrible. Necaxa is a minus 213 favorite. That's just too much juice to take there, even in a parlay. Give me Necaxa, Santos, both to score, bottom of the barrel teams, both needing a win, both needing points. Give me both to score. Next game up in Liga MX, Querétaro at home versus Atlético San Luis. Current standing, Querétaro is in 15th place after 5 games, 5 goals scored, 7 conceded. Playing San Luis, who have 17th place, 5 goals scored, 13 conceded in the 5 games. Querétaro last game, 1-1 draw versus Chivas. Prior to that, they had a 1-0 loss to Pachuca, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. But in 4 of the last 5 games, Querétaro has seen a both to score. Atlético San Luis coming off a 2-3 loss to Pumas. They have only scored 1 time in the last 3 games. Prior to that, they had 2 3-0 shutouts, but they're playing Querétaro, who's at the bottom with them, guys. You know where I'm headed with this. We're looking at a Querétaro team plus 156 at home versus Atlético San Luis plus 163. It's a coin flip here on who's going to get the win, but I see both teams scoring here as well. Both teams scoring. Querétaro, Atlético San Luis. That takes us to Puebla, and we got the back-to-back champions, my team, Club América, visiting Puebla. We're talking about back-to-back. Club América is going for the 4th title, 4th league in a row. They're currently in 2nd place, 13 points. In 5 games, they've scored 13 goals, only conceded 2. Puebla is in 12th place, 5 goals scored, 5 goals conceded. Club America is minus 147. This might go up, guys. Club America is playing great right now. I think I love that line. I don't care. That seems kind of low because it's probably going to pop up. But I think that Club America can get a team total of over 1.5. I do like the money line straight up. Puebla has not given up 2 goals. They did give up 2 goals to San Luis. But prior to that, they haven't given up 2 goals to anybody else. But we're talking about Club America, back-to-back champions, the three-peaters. Give me Club America money line. Give me Club America team total over 1.5 there. Last game for Friday takes us to the Bundesliga. Our favorite liga is Bayern Munich, minus 900 favorite, taking on Werder Bremen. Werder Bremen, this is a Friday game, so you got to be careful here. This might be an over 4, over 3.5 goals here. So hold the horses before betting the over there. Bayern Munich, first place, 51 points. Werder Bremen, 8th place. Bayern Munich, 62 goals scored in 20 matches, 19 conceded. Werder Bremen, 34 goals scored, 36 conceded. Let me just look at their previous games. Bayern Munich coming off a 4-3 win over Holstein Kiel. Big win. Werder Bremen, though, had a 1-0 win over Mainz. Prior to that, they had a 2-2 draw versus Dortmund. The last time these two teams faced off against each other was in 2021. Bayern was a minus 294 favorite. They won 5-0, guys. One plays that I like to do, I'm going to throw out there, is Bayern Munich games over 1.5 goals the first half. They usually start strong and punch it full throttle, guys. Give me Bayern Munich, Werder Bremen, first half, over 1.5 goals. That's going to do it, guys, for Friday's soccer action. There is no England Premier League this week. No England Premier League because they're dealing with that FA Cup. So there are a lot of FA Cup games, but I don't like to tap in those too much because they play with backup players. We're talking about B squad, C squad players, depending on the game. So if you really want to play in those games, you got to be tapped into the VIP because that's what I'm going to be looking at the lineups to see who's playing, to see if it's really worth it. So we are going to skip the FA Cup Saturday rundown just because of the fact that it is a cup tournament and we never know who's going to play, guys, in those lineups. But you never know, guys. We're touching those games in the VIP chat. So get on in the VIPs to not miss out a thing. We will go, though, to Saturday, French League. OGC Nice at home taking on Lens. OGC Nice coming off a 2-1 loss to Stade Briochin in the Coupe de France. Last 3 games for OGC Nice have seen them both to score. They're playing against Lens. Lens did win 2-0 in their last game. Lens has scored in the last 4 games. 4 games. And OG Nice and Lens, we got to go with what I'm feeling. That's going to be a both to score, guys. Both to score in OG Nice versus Lens for Saturday's soccer action in the French League. Hold on, guys. I'm trying to get there's the odds right there. Yeah, because we're talking about a plus 137 and a plus 212. Both to score, French League, OGC Nice versus Lens. That takes us to Lille versus Le Havre in the French League. Lille is in 4th place. Le Havre, bottom of the barrel, guys, last place team. Le Havre did tie Angers, though. They lost to Brest, lost to Lens. Lille, last time they faced off against each other, took them down 3-0. But that was actually a few months ago in September. So they have faced off against each other before this season. Give me Lille money line, Lille team total over 1.5. They are minus 270, so there could be a parlay piece there. Next game is Saint Etienne versus Rennes French League, guys. Plus 228, plus 114. Got to go both to score there, guys. Both to score in Saint Etienne versus Rennes in the French League for Saturday. Serie A Italian League. We got Hellas Verona at home taking on Atalanta. Give me Atalanta money line. It is juicy, minus 180. Maybe a parlay piece there. Serie A second game, Empoli, AC Milan. AC Milan just signed Santi Jimenez, guys. They're looking strong. They did have a game earlier this week. I think it was today. Actually, it was yesterday. Serie A. I mean, they played in the Coppa Italia, 3-1 win over AS Roma. They look good. They were playing with some backup. Santi Jimenez did make his debut there, had an assist for the third goal there. This is a play that we took live, over 3.5 goals live when it was 2-1 at halftime, guys. I'm scoping out these games. I'm watching them. So if you get a live play, you know your butt is guaranteed that I'm watching this game and I'm not just throwing out number, not throwing darts. I'm playing it because I see the momentum. That was a live play winner, big winner. And that takes us to that game. AC Milan at Empoli. Give me AC Milan money line minus 152. Next game, Torino versus Genoa, guys. Both to score. That's simple. Got to keep it simple, guys. Torino, Genoa, both to score. La Liga Spain Saturday. Celta Vigo versus Real Betis, guys. The lines are telling me both to score here as well. Celta Vigo versus Real Betis, both to score. Atletico Bilbao in the next game versus Girona. Give me Atletico Bilbao money line. Las Palmas, Villarreal, guys. This one's going to be a simple one. Give me Villarreal money line. Real Madrid, Atletico Madrid, guys. This is the derby game. This is going to be a fun one. Even though Real Madrid starts off slow, we're talking about the first versus second place team. Big game. Real Madrid versus Atletico Madrid. Number 1 versus number 2. Last 2 times these guys faced off against each other 1-1. Prior to that 1-1. They've seen both score in the last 5 games, guys. And that's where I'm going here, guys. It might be a little juicy. Give me both to score. Real Madrid versus Atletico Madrid in the Madrid Derby. We have some Mexican Soccer League action Friday night. Tigres versus Atlas. Gotta go with Tigres. Tigres money line. Leon versus Toluca, guys. Toluca and Leon. Leon, James Rodriguez just joined Leon. Leon is in first place, guys. Was in a terrible position last year. Toluca is in 6th place, guys. Last 3 games for Leon have seen the both to score. Toluca, surprisingly, is not scoring in a high-scoring matches this year. Last game, they won 1-0 versus the strong Tigres team. But prior to that, they had 4 games in a row that were both to score, guys. Just with the firepower we see with Leon and the money lines here, Leon plus 190, Toluca plus 132. Give me both to score. Don't be surprised if Leon at plus 190 gets the win here, guys. Leon plus 190 is not a bad pick at home versus Toluca, guys. We're talking about the first place team, but I do see a both to score here. That's the better play. Both to score there. Juarez Monterrey, gotta go with Monterrey. They need a win. They're not doing too well. The line seems shady. Monterrey versus Juarez. Give me Monterrey minus 106. Cruz Azul Pachuca, guys. We gotta go. Look at the standings here. Cruz Azul, 5th place. Pachuca, 4th place. Both only giving up about 1 goal a game. Even though the favorite is Cruz Azul, give me both to score in Cruz Azul versus Pachuca. Last but not least, Bundesliga for Saturday. We're going to Dortmund. Dortmund versus Stuttgart. Stuttgart, 5th place, 37 goals scored, 30 conceded. Dortmund, 11th place, guys, 29 points. Stuttgart has 32 points, so 1 win away for Dortmund from getting back up there close to the top 6. Last game, Dortmund won 2-1 versus Heidenheim, and they did win 3-1 versus Shakhtar in the Champions League. Part of that, they had a 2-2 draw versus Werder Bremen. Stuttgart took it easy in the DFB Pokal, beating Augsburg 1-0. Stuttgart did lose to Gladbach, though, 1-2, and got destroyed by PSG. Stuttgart, last time these two teams faced off against each other, Stuttgart destroyed Dortmund. So they still have that feeling. They remember that butt whooping, guys. And that's why I'm going to go with Dortmund here. Dortmund money line, -116. I know Dortmund's up and down, bipolar team, so you got to be careful with a team like this. But I do like the money line because this is a revenge game, guys. Stuttgart beat them 5-1 last time they faced off against each other. It was in Stuttgart. Dortmund's back at home. Possible goals here, not official over goals game here, but I am going to go with Dortmund money line. The over goals could change, guys, could become a VIP play. So keep that in mind. Hoffenheim, Union Berlin. Union Berlin used to be our under game, guys. Union Berlin, we used to be very defensive, not a whole lot of goals, but we have seen them score some goals. Last game, though, versus RB Leipzig was a 0-0, guys. Back to the defensive style. But prior to that, they had 2 games that went over 2.5 goals. Hoffenheim did lose to Leverkusen 3-1. Prior to that, they did try Eintracht 2-2. But because of the fact that Hoffenheim doesn't play too defensive and they are at home, I'm going to go with the boat to score here in Hoffenheim versus Union Berlin. Next game, Freiburg versus Heidenheim. Freiburg -143. Heidenheim is in 16th place. Freiburg is in 9th place. Last time that Freiburg played was a 1-0 win over Bochum. Heidenheim 1-2 lost to Dortmund. Freiburg beat Heidenheim last time they faced off against each other. Give me a boat to score here in Freiburg versus Heidenheim. Next game, Mainz versus Augsburg. Mainz -135. 135. Somebody's asking about any wake and cash parlays. There are a couple Australian soccer games tonight, so I'll get right back to that before we get into Sunday. Good question. Mainz, 6th place, 33 goals scored, 24 conceded. Augsburg, 24 goals scored, 35 conceded. Augsburg versus Mainz. Mainz coming off a 1-0 loss to Werder Bremen. Augsburg 1-0 loss to Stuttgart. 1-1. Last time these two teams faced off against each other was a 3-2 win to Mainz. Not really loving the goals in this one, but I do like the boat to score. Augsburg and Mainz. Augsburg and Mainz. Next game, Wolfsburg versus Bayer Leverkusen. Bayer Leverkusen coming off a big win. Wolfsburg scores a lot of goals as well. 43 goals scored, 35 conceded. We have seen both to score for both of these teams in a lot of their matches, previous matches. This is probably one of my favorites for the over goals here. It comes down to Wolfsburg, Bayer Leverkusen. I do give the moneyline edge to Bayer Leverkusen. Give me over goals in Wolfsburg, Bayer Leverkusen. Borussia Mönchengladbach versus Eintracht Frankfurt. The later game for the German Bundesliga, +162. Gladbach, Eintracht Frankfurt, +155. Give me the boat to score in that game. That's the later game. All right. Going back to Friday. Somebody wants a wake and cash play. And we did talk about the Australian Soccer League. I mean, I don't really like we did like the boat to score, Adelaide, Melbourne City, I believe, and Perth Glory, Central Coast Mariners. Those are the 2 games that are at night. The lines are probably going to be high on these for the boat to score. But usually, guys, actually, the both to score and the over 1.5 is going to be pretty high for both of these. But I do think that we can get, let me see something here. MacArthur, Melbourne City. Melbourne City is away. Adelaide has been giving up goals. So Adelaide, Melbourne City, Australian games, Perth Glory, Central Coast Mariners. You know what we're going to do, guys? This is a simple one. We're going to go with over 0.5 goal parlay, first half, over 0.5 goals. That means that there's going to be at least one goal in the first half for these two teams, these two games, Adelaide versus Melbourne City and Perth Glory versus Central Coast Mariners. The line might be minus 0.5, 1 on these. So we're talking about if you get one goal, we're still going to get a win in both games. So take a look at that. If that's not an option, if it's too juicy, we're going to go with both to score in both games, guys. Both to score, that's going to be juicy as well, but it's going to be Waking Cash sprinkle there for the Australian games that are tonight. One's at 12:35 a.m. and the other one's at 2:45 a.m. Pacific time. All right, guys. We did Saturday. We did Friday. Moving on. Let's see if there was anything on Saturday that I wanted to do for a grandma parlay for fun. There was a money line that I liked, even though it might be juicy, but a juicy money line. Atalanta, Bayer Leverkusen, nope. Nothing really too juicy, except for Lily, which is a minus 270. And we're actually going to parlay that with a team from the FA Cup who should win versus one of those lower division England teams. So give me, there's nobody at home. Leeds, but they're playing Millwall. They're both not in the top division, so we don't want to do that. Manchester City is playing, though, tomorrow, Saturday, in the FA Cup. There might be a VIP play there. You never know. But give me Fulham money line. Fulham money line minus 370 from the FA Cup, and parlay that with Lille from France. Lille money line minus 270. That should give you about a minus 150 or so, right around there. Good grandma parlay. All right, guys, let's move on to Sunday, FA Cup. There's 3 games there. Might not touch them. Liverpool's a minus 714. I will give you a little nugget there, guys. Give me Liverpool over 1.5 goals for the game versus Plymouth in the FA Cup. Doesn't matter if their backups are in, guys. They're going to score 2 goals. That's what we like for the FA Cup. Liverpool versus Plymouth over 1.5 goals in the first half. Ligue 1 France for Sunday. Lyon, Lyon versus Reims. Give me Lyon minus 192 parlay piece there. Strasbourg versus Montpellier over 2.5 goals. Montpellier over 2.5 goals. Auxerre versus Toulouse, both to score. Angers versus Marseille. Give me Marseille money line minus 150. Marseille minus 150. Serie A for Sunday. Venezia, AS Roma, guys. Give me AS Roma money line. Cagliari versus Parma. Give me both to score. Cagliari versus Parma. Lazio versus Monza. Give me Lazio minus 256 parlay piece. Give me Lazio team total over 1.5. Lecce Bologna both to score. Lecce Bologna both to score. Napoli Udinese. Give me Napoli. Grandma parlay right there, guys. Give me Napoli and Lazio. Grandma parlay for the Serie A Italian League. Giving you another nugget, guys. Parlay those two. And rest easy. Spain for Sunday, guys. Alaves versus Getafe. Give me both to score. Alaves versus Getafe. Valencia Leganes. Give me Valencia money line minus 141. Real Sociedad Español. Give me Real Sociedad money line. Sevilla Barcelona, guys. Give me Barcelona. They're coming off a big win. Big win Barcelona today, guys. Give me Barcelona again to dominate Sevilla. Barcelona team total. Give me over goals their away, as they're the away team. Barcelona, Sevilla, over goals, Barcelona money line. Bundesliga for Sunday takes us to Holstein Kiel and Bochum. Both to score there, guys. Both to score. RB Leipzig, St. Pauli. Give me RB Leipzig money line. Gave you guys some treats, guys. That was Sunday soccer action. We do have the Mexican League, Pumas versus Mazatlan to finish off Sunday. Pumas versus Mazatlan. Pumas 7th place, Mazatlan 8th place. Pumas coming off a 3-2 win over San Luis. Mazatlan 1-2 loss versus León. Got to go with the both to score here, guys. Both to score, Pumas versus Mazatlan. Next game, we have Chivas at home, 13th place, taking on Club Tijuana. Chivas 1-1 draw in their last game. It was a CONCACAF Champions League. Prior to that, they had a 1-1 draw versus Querétaro. Club Tijuana coming off a 2-3 loss to Cruz Azul. They did lose 4-0 to Tigres. Prior to that, 2-1 win over Querétaro, guys. Two teams that aren't doing too well here, guys. I like Chivas Tijuana. I'm wearing the Tijuana jersey, guys. This is the Tijuana Cholos. If you don't know Tijuana Cholos, this is the soccer jersey, one of the old school jerseys when they first came out. Give me Chivas Club Tijuana, both to score. I gave you guys lots of info, lots of games, and let's get right to it, guys. We got a big game this weekend, and it's not football, soccer that we dominate, but we do well with the NFL as well, guys. We hit a ton of teasers. Let me give you a little something right here before we get into the NFL. Let me get ready, and let's rock and roll.
Playoffs? Don't talk about it. Playoffs?
Playoffs, the big game. Some people watch it for the halftime show. Some people just go like the party. We got NFL Super Bowl weekend, Philadelphia Eagles, Kansas City Chiefs, and we're headed to where we headed? New Orleans, guys. New Orleans. Big game. The Chiefs are -1 favorites. I did look at the numbers a few days ago, and the Eagles were getting about 60% of the bets, guys. Nothing too heavy, but what I did notice is that close to 90% of the public is on the over 48.5, and I can understand why. We're talking about two teams that can score at will, and they have shown in their previous games leading up to the Super Bowl that they are scoring points and giving up points, guys. The Eagles scored over 50 points. Let's take a look at that game. Eagles won 55-23 versus the Washington Redskins, guys. Prior to that, they took down the Rams 28-22. Their only game that wasn't too high scoring was versus the Green Bay Packers at 22-10. Chiefs coming off a win over the Buffalo Bills, guys, 32-29, guys. Also a ton of points. And believe it or not, guys, the last time these two teams faced off against each other in the Super Bowl, it was 63 points. We're talking about 30. Actually, it was more than 66. It was 30. What was it? 36-33. I think that's what the final score was. So 69 points, 36-33. I believe that was the score, if I'm not mistaken, 36-33, or it was 33-30, something like that. If you remember, the Chiefs won by a field goal the very last few minutes, there was kind of like a suspect ghost phantom call that was given to Patrick Mahomes. It was a holding call on the Eagles that was kind of sketchy. It didn't look like he held them that much. It could have not been a flag, but that got him into field goal position, guys. It was over 60 points. And that's been the only game in the last 6 Super Bowls that has gone over the total, guys. So we're talking about last 6 Super Bowl games. Only one game has gone over the total for that game, and that was the last time the Eagles faced off against the Kansas City Chiefs, guys. So all of those things are pointing to an over game, but 90% of the public are on the over, guys. This one's a tricky one. I'm not sure which way I'm going to go on the over-under right now because of the fact that I think it could go either way. We see 2 of the best defenses that are left. They're in there for a reason. We have 2 of the teams that can manage the clock the best like no other, guys. Andy Reid, guys, he's a phenom. He knows what to do, and he knows how to manage the clock. So this could either be a very chess match type of game, very cagey, very tight, or it could be a little bit of a shootout, guy. You just never know. So don't put a lot of your money on the over-under bet, guys. We'll get to what the plays that we're leaning are going to be, but the over-under could go either way. Everybody's on the over, and I understand why. But because of that reason, we could see an under, guys, an under 48. Teaser-wise, I could go either over 41.5 or under, what is it, 48, 49, 59, 55 points. So under 55, over 41, guys. Flip a coin on that one. But if I were to tease a team, I don't know if we might get to a pick 'em by the time the game kicks off, but -1, if I could get the Chiefs +5, +6 points, and maybe an over 41 or under 55, it's tricky, guys. I'm not sure which way I'm leaning on the over under. My gut is telling me to go under. It is scary, but my gut is telling me to go under 48.5 because of a lot of reasons, guys. Andy Reid is gonna force Jalen Hurts to throw the ball, guys. Under is a possible play when you think about it that way. The Chiefs manage the clock like no other. The Eagles manage the clock like no other as well. The Chiefs don't run to the line. They don't rush to the line. They wait till there's like 2 or 3 seconds left on the clock before they snap the ball. They take their time. They take little plays, and they march down the field, and they know what to do. They will put a lot of guys in the box and force the Eagles to throw the ball, guys. They know that Saquon Barkley can run it. Another note is that I think it's in the last, so many games, playoff games, it's over 10 games. The Kansas City Chiefs have not allowed a running back to rush for over 100 yards, guys. I don't know the exact number, but it's over 10 games in the playoffs. They have not allowed a running back to, doesn't matter who it's been, they have not allowed a running back to rush for over 100 yards. That's a big stat. There was another stat that I saw on another reel where it talks about when it's a do or die drive, and we're talking about in the last 100 do or die drives, when a team needs at least 3 points or a touchdown to win the game or to tie the game and send it to overtime. We're talking about the elite quarterbacks like Tom Brady, Drew Brees. I think Tom Brady's like 4 out of 7 in situations like that. Drew Brees was like 3 out of 6. And believe it or not, in situations like the ones I just mentioned, Patrick Mahomes is 7 for 7 when it comes down to needing a clutch field goal or clutch touchdown to send the game into overtime or to win the game, guys. 7 for 7, guys. That is unreal. And in these percentages, that is out of 100 games, I think it's only like 25% of the quarterbacks that have had that opportunity have done it. He's 7 for 7 out of those 25, 30% out of 100 drives where that has occurred, guys. So we're talking about an elite quarterback that knows what to do. Sorry, Bills fans, but Josh Allen couldn't do it. All he needed was a field goal to send the game into overtime, guys. He just needed what, 20, 30 yards, 40 yards. He could not do it, guys. That's what determines, that's what separates a elite super quarterback. Not saying that Allen isn't good, but think about it, guys. That's what separates him from Patrick Mahomes. I hate hearing about the refs, man. Even though I hate the Chiefs, realistically, I'm a Raider fan. My team sucks. But I love my wallet, and I can't bet against a team that I know is going to win, guys. So all I got to say is that I can't bet against the Chiefs in this Super Bowl, guys. Everything's pointing to Chiefs. Everything's pointing to Kelsey, the Swifties. I hate seeing Swifty on the screen. Repeat, guys. This will put him into a whole new level, guys. Let's take a look at one thing, though. One thing I want to talk to you about. Look at who the Philadelphia Eagles get to play, throughout the season. They play the Giants twice. They play the Cowboys twice. Think about their division, guys. Think about their divisions. Think about their division, who they play. Who have the Eagles really beaten this year that is actually a good team? We're going all the way back. All the way back. Let's go. We got time. Philadelphia Eagles. Who they beat? They beat the Patriots. They lost to the Vikings. They beat the Packers. They lost to the Falcons. They barely beat the Saints. The Eagles lost to the Buccaneers. Eagles beat the Browns. They beat the Giants. Everybody beats the Giants. They beat the Bengals. I guess you could say the Bengals were a decent team. They beat the Jaguars. They beat the Cowboys again. That's nothing too exciting. They beat the Redskins in the regular season once. Beat the Rams. The Ravens. I guess you could say they did beat the Ravens, who is a top-notch team. They did beat the Ravens. But Philadelphia Eagles, to get to where they're at now in the Super Bowl, beat the Rams and the Commanders and the Green Bay Packers. Now, I honestly think that the Buffalo Bills was a lot more stronger team than the Eagles are right now across the board. When you talk about, everybody that's on the field, some might argue with me on that one, but I think that the Kansas City Chiefs are loving this matchup, even though the Eagles do have Saquon Barkley. They have A.J. Brown. They have Goddard. They have, who else they got? Devontae Smith. They got great defense guys up front that can run and, pressure on the quarterback, things like that. I just can't take it away, guys. Everybody hates both of these teams, but they hate the Chiefs more. They hate Kelsey. They hate the Swifties. One other thing, though, I'm going to stay away from props in this game, guys. I'm not going to throw 10 props out there, player props, just because of the fact that it is the Super Bowl. The one that I do like, though, I know it's a common one and it's a favorite. It's Kelsey. Kelsey, I think, is going to get his yards. We saw what the tight end did versus the Eagles. The Eagles are not good versus the tight end. They're giving up a lot of yards, giving up a lot of touchdowns. Philip Busey, what's up, my buddy? The scary thing is the Chiefs are 15-2 and just now peaking. How do you guard Kelsey, Hollywood? You're right, man. Worthy, Hopkins, Juju, they got it all. They have the running backs, Pacheco, Hunt, I think, is there as well. They got a lot of weapons, and they got a quarterback who can use the multiple weapons in various ways. If you're covering one guy or the other, there's other guys that are going to be open too, guys. So keep that in mind. Patrick Mahomes has been there, done that. The Eagles are going to have, a lot of issues right now with, if they're being forced to throw the ball, guys, that's where the trouble is going to happen. If they can run and break holes and run, which Saquon Barkley can do, that's going to give the Chiefs some trouble there, guys. But I love the Chiefs. I may not even do a teaser just because I'm going back and forth on the over-under. I may just go straight Chiefs money line. I do like Kelsey for yards, over yards for Kelsey. And I do like Kelsey to get a touchdown. I know that's going to be a play that a lot of people are going to pick, but just because of the fact I know Kelsey's going to show up and the Eagles don't do well versus the tight ends. I think Kelsey's going to have a game. Patrick Mahomes is going to have a game. And we're going to see them dominate. And I think, hopefully we do get a good game. But I do lean towards the under 48.5. This could change because we do have those overtime rules where they get to go back and forth, kind of like a college overtime rules where they get to score a touchdown and another touchdown and keep going if both teams score a touchdown. So that's where it gets a little tricky, a little scary. But the Chiefs are going to force the Eagles to run, to pass the ball. And I don't think Hurts has what it takes, to be an elite passing quarterback. I do like Devontae Smith, 4 yards in this game as well. The slot receiver. I like him to get his yards. I think those are the only 2 prop plays I like. Devontae Smith over receiving yards, and I like Kelsey over receiving yards. I like Kelsey to get a touchdown. And believe it or not, guys, just because you screwed at me last week, I do kind of like Saquon Barkley over. I think it's 109 yards, 110 yards. I do like Saquon Barkley over his yards. I think he also seemed like he wasn't 100% in the last game. He was on the bike. He was massaging his calf. So I think there's something there, guys. I may be wrong because they did take him out early, but they had a big lead. But it looked like something was going on with Saquon Barkley in that last game. I know he was trying to stay loose, but it looked a little bit different than when it was, another game previous to that. He was on the bike quite a bit. He was massaging his calf muscle. So there might be a little something there that might pop up. If he gets hurt, man, trouble for Philadelphia Eagles, guys. But give me possible little sprinkle. I'm not an under guy, but give me the under Saquon Barkley rushing yards, guys. I think that the Chiefs are going to do what they've done with every top running back that they've faced in the playoffs. They're going to shut down the run. They're going to force the Eagles to throw the ball. And I just can't bet against Patrick Mahomes. He is the next Brady. I hate to say it. Nobody likes that team. Not many people like the Eagles, so people are pissed both ways, but they hate the Chiefs more. I like the Chiefs because I love my wallet, guys. And always remember one of the top rules in gambling, never bet with your heart. Always bet with your wallet in mind. And never break that rule, guys, because if you're breaking that rule, guys, and you're betting with your heart on your favorite team just because they're your favorite team and you say, like, I can't bet against them, that's my team. You're never going to win money when it comes to sports gambling in the long run. So never bet with your heart. Chiefs, three-peat is cooking. You may want to sprinkle the kickers a little bit here in this game, guys. My VIP guys will get my official VIP plays once I decide it, guys. It's going to be a great game. Commercials, I don't know. I haven't been watching the commercials in a long time, so I'm not going to really be watching those, guys. I'll be chilling, having some drinks, smoking the cigars, having some food. So have a good weekend. Enjoy the games. Get in on the VIP. If you're not on the free Telegram, that's where it all begins. I give free plays every day. I'll probably give away a free pick for the Super Bowl, guys. Once again, thanks again for joining us on the pitch with TJ Picks. Signing off. Good night. Good luck.